let me tell you about Homestuck.
I'm a member of the midnight crew. I'm a night owl and a wise bird too.
Homestuck is a mess. In fact, I'd be willing to call it the greatest sin of the internet. From ironic humor and juggalos, to conventions having to ban Homestuck cosplayers, to the author leaving behind Homestuck to pursue his dreams of becoming the e-boy, and well, everything about Carcalicious.
Carcalicious definition makes Terezi loco. She wants to know the secrets that she can't taste in my photo. Dying just to know the flavor. I ain't doing her no favors. No reasons why I tease her. Flush just comes and goes like seasons. I'm Carcalicious, so delicious. No, I don't do kiss mixes. And if you read any fanfics, all that shit is fictitious. I blow kisses. Mwah.
So yeah, I think I have a pretty valid argument in saying that it's the greatest sin of the internet. You might be asking yourself, what makes it the greatest sin? I don't mean the greatest sin in the terms of the biggest or the worst sin. I mean it's a pretty cool and fucking great sin, you know? But then again, what about Homestuck is so great? And what about Homestuck is a sin? Well, let me elaborate. I was told to always... Wait a minute. I can't get into a huge topic like Homestuck without giving a little background to what it is. So here's a brief history of Homestuck. Homestuck is a webcomic written and illustrated by Andrew Hussey. It is over 8,000 pages long and has become a staple in internet culture. The launch of Homestuck was on April 13, 2009, with it ending on April 13, 2016. It has all been uploaded to Hussey's website MS Paint Adventures, where he posted a number of other webcomics, all being made in MS Paint. And Homestuck was no exception to this rule, but it was by far Hussey's biggest and most popular project. The website has since been changed to Homestuck.com, and in the past few years some games have come out, like High Swap Act 1, High Swap Friend Sim, and most recently in 2019, Pester Quest. Last year on April 13th, the declared Homestuck Day, and Homestuck's 10th anniversary, Hussey came out with the Homestuck Epilogues, which had some pretty intense writing and had all the Homestucks asking themselves, meat or candy? Later that year, Homestuck 2 came out, and it is currently ongoing, and it takes place directly after the epilogues. And while Hussey is the producer and wrote the outline for it, he's not the one writing it. It is a team of writers picked by him along with some animators. If you're interested more about the process of how they're making Homestuck 2, I will link their website below where they answer some basic questions. You still might be wondering, what's Homestuck about? Well, that's a very long and complicated question to answer, but to put it simply, Homestuck is a tale about a boy and his friends in the game they play together. But that game brings on the apocalypse, and they meet aliens, and they have to make a new universe, and time travel? Look, oh god. Homestuck is really complicated and difficult to try to explain to someone, but I'm getting off track, I gave some history, so let's get back to the topic at hand. I was told to always start with the bad, so here we go. Homestuck can be a lot, and if I want to show you how much of a sin Homestuck can be, it would make sense to start out where Homestucks have made the biggest waves, and that is with conventions and cosplaying.
Check it. Pretty swag, huh? Kiss it, bitch.
And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I cosplay characters from Homestuck, and if you do too, that's okay. Most of these situations don't happen anymore and are just bizarre events that stick out so much that people remember them. But they are relatively big, so it's worth talking about. Years ago, a Terezi cosplayer at Anime Expo decided to dye their skin gray in a hotel bathroom, and this caused $700 in damages. Now this became known through a Tumblr post, I'll link it if you want to read the whole thing. Since this post, this story has been going around for the last 8 years, and because of stories like this and events where Homestuck cosplayers are too loud, and even events where people are getting pushed over, some conventions in the past have banned Homestuck cosplaying. Even some restaurants have seen the horrors of Homestuck cosplayers, with there being a video of a group of Homestuck cosplayers spitting in a bucket, which is just, frankly, gross. Now that stuff, well, it's just bad and inconsiderate. However, I feel if you truly want something to be considered a sin, it should break some moral code or something of that sort, and oh boy, does Homestuck do that. If you want to break your own moral code, I think reading Homestuck fanfictions can easily do that. There are horrible fanfictions. especially the Doritos fanfiction. To give you a, well, clean summary, it involves Doritos being shoved in a very unpleasant place in a Homestuck character, and then another Homestuck character eats them. Yeah. And did I mention it's also incest? It's basically Dipper Goes to Taco Bell, but for Homestucks. And if you don't know what Dipper Goes to Taco Bell is, then please, for the love of God, save yourself and don't look it up. There are just so many other Homestuck fanfictions that can even be worse than that. With more time, I could list off more horrid things like this, but I think I've made my point. So from Homestuck fanfictions to the chaos of Homestuck cosplayers, I think I have a pretty solid point to say that Homestuck is horrible at times. You might be thinking there is no redeeming it and Homestuck is the worst thing ever, and I can't blame you for thinking that, but hear me out. With everything that has been said, how can Homestuck be something that's great? Well, the story of Homestuck, despite how confusing it can be, is very interesting. It's well written, has great character development, and at times amazing animation. As much as people don't like to see it that way, a form of media can be taken in without dealing with the loud and sometimes horrible Homestuck community. It is possible to enjoy something without being someone who tries to dye their own skin. I would say for the story alone, I would give it a point in the great category. I know I've been shitting on Homestuck cosplayers, but truthfully, the events I talked about happened years ago when Homestuck was still new. Currently, with the Homestuck community having been around for so long, to me it seems like most of the bad people in the community have matured and realized that the stuff they were doing was stupid or moved on to something new. I've been cosplaying Homestuck for a while, and I've only really had one bad experience, and that was just with people being loud and obnoxious. But you'll find that pretty much anywhere. I've met some really interesting and really cool people through Homestuck, and I even placed in the top 10 in a cosplay competition with my friends as Homestucks. I have never seen a more involved and creative fan base, from music to animations to art and even cosplay. When looking into something from an outside perspective, it is easy to see things and think that's all there is. It's just a horde of bucket-spitting, loud, insane people. And yes, that is part of it, but for the most part it's an outlier. They say one bad apple can spoil the bunch, and I think that might be true with people's perspectives on Homestuck. Yes, in the past it was pretty horrible. However, the Homestuck community has cleaned up its act for the most part, and I would have to say it's pretty great. Overall, when you weigh the sins to the good in all of Homestuck's long history, currently I would say the good would outweigh the bad, but given the past events and even some events that still go on today, I would have to say that Homestuck is the greatest sin of the internet. I'll leave you with one last piece of information. You can decide if it adds to the good or the sins of Homestuck. Megalovania was originally a Homestuck song. Thank you for watching this video. Happy 413 fellow Homestuck losers. I've had this video half made for about 2 months, and since, like everyone else, I'm stuck at home, I decided to make this for 413. And I know I don't upload much, but I'm gonna try to upload more since I have nothing else to do, so consider subscribing. That'd be really cool if you did. Anyways, I'm George. I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day.